Before we get into today's show, let me tell you about HubSpot. If you're hustling in the trenches to build a business or bootstrapping one of your own, let's talk about an AI-powered tool that can lighten up your workload a bit. HubSpot's Campaign Assistant is a game changer for creating marketing campaigns at scale. It quickly turns your key selling points into a cohesive pitch, which helps you deliver knockout emails, ads, and landing pages in minutes. So let Campaign Assistant take care of the campaigns so you can get back to growing your business. Work smarter, not harder at HubSpot.com/campaign-assistant.
Howdy, folks, and good morning. It is Monday, July 24th. I'm Jacob Cohen, and this is the Hustle Daily Show. We've got a lot on tap for today. We've got newsy numbers to dish out, and we're also talking about those of you who are on the job from 9 to 5. Or, is it 4? Data suggests office workers are signing off earlier. And we're going to discuss that in just a bit. But before we do, let's discuss what else is happening in the world of business and tech. Let's get crack-a-lackin'. Okay, first things first, an X will replace Twitter's globally recognized logo of a blue bird silhouette, according to the man himself, Elon Musk. He also suggested the platform's blue coloring may soon shift to black. And you will never guess this, his fans love the move, and his detractors hate it. Moving along to DAI and AI, 2 news networks in India now have AI chatbots reading the day's headlines before tossing to human journalists for panel discussions. Feels real dystopian, but for a country with 22 official languages, multilingual anchor bots could actually be quite helpful. Up next, top dollar. Barbie scored the year's biggest opening weekend with $155 million at the box office with its empowering message. Anything is possible with an inescapable, months-long, multi-million-dollar marketing blitz. Meanwhile, Oppenheimer bombed, or I guess I should say boomed, to $80.5 million. It did not bomb. It did pretty well, actually. It was another big box office win. Analysts expected a $50 million start for that movie. Together, Barbenheimer, as it's known, led to one of Hollywood's biggest weekends ever. Up next, Amazon will invest $120 million in a Florida facility to prepare satellites for its broadband rival to SpaceX's Starlink. The network will include around 3.2 thousand satellites, and if you're wondering if Bezos' Blue Origin will do some of that launching, you know it will. Moving along, sweet timing. Colorado startup Myco Technology found a sweet protein in honey truffles and will develop a new sugar alternative with it. The unveiling comes hot on the heels of the World Health Organization labeling aspartame, a popular sweetening additive, as a cancer risk. And lastly, the very opposite of sweet timing, actually. U.S. candy production is down and prices are up, with tight supply sending the cost of sugar to its highest per-pound price point since January 2011. And all we can say is hope this turns around in time for Halloween. Now for some newsy numbers. First up, attracting Gen Z and its $360 billion in spending power may prove to be Cirque du Soleil's hardest trick yet, according to the New York Times. Cirque's more than 40 shows sell 10 million tickets annually and account for around 80% of its revenue. But with an average attendee age of 42 years, execs now plan to launch a video game, home goods, a documentary, a convention, and fragrances. Yes, fragrances. I'm not sure exactly what fragrances they plan to release. I hope it is not Sweaty Clown, but we will see, I guess. Next up, if you like horses, you will love the horse mecca, as it's known, of Phoenix, Arizona. But if you are a horse, you probably at Phoenix for its never-ending string of ultra-sweaty days. Horses heat up much faster than humans, and Phoenix is 110 plus degree temps are posing a very dangerous threat to the area's $1.3 billion equestrian industry. Speaking of both fragrances and sweating, it appears fragrance deodorant is hot. Old Spice and Secret owner Procter & Gamble says it's found 90% of the United States shoppers want at least some scent in their deodorant products to help them get noticed. The Wall Street Journal found one woman who carries as many as 17 different scented deodorants with her when she's away from home. No typo there, 17. That's 10 plus 7. Wow. All right, and last but not least, if you've got the time and luck, meteorite hunting can be quite the lucrative side gig. A gram of space rock can go for anywhere from 5 cents to $5,000 depending on its features, and the Maine Mineral and Gem Museum actually recently offered $25,000 to anyone who could recover a fresh meteorite that landed nearby. They don't teach you about this career path in school, kids, but meteorite hunting may pay off. All right, and with that, let's get to today's main story. So, if you're considering an early dip from the office today, ideally, it's because you've got something important to do and not because you're planning a covert escape from the bathroom window so nobody sees you in a full-body Spider-Man costume at work. Modern Family fans listening to this may get that reference. Otherwise, well, I guess it still holds true. And in either case, recent data appears to suggest workplace Hall of Famers like, would you look at the time? And what would you say, let's call it a day, are broadly being declared earlier than usual. So, what is the new time to bounce? Well, check this out. The share of meetings scheduled between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. across Microsoft Teams dropped 7% year over year in recent months, according to the Wall Street Journal. Elsewhere, on Yelp, 10% of restaurant diners are now seated between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. That's up 5% from 2019. Also, Uber trips to restaurants between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. are up 10% from 2019 and down 9% after 8 p.m. Furthermore, Stanford researchers even found golf courses to be 143% busier on weekends in 2022 versus 2019. Notably, signing off earlier does not mean you're not signing back on later, too. Microsoft Teams users now send 42% more after-hours chats compared to a year and a half ago. And leading the charge are 44% of senior-level office workers and 50% of mid-level office workers who now prefer to work from home, according to McKinsey. That's versus 6% of junior workers. Now, these employees all said they're willing to swap more than 20% of their compensation to work at home as they wish. Pretty wild, just for some flexibility. Now, before we go, I'll leave you with an interesting approach one company's taking to underline the fact that for its employees, time is money. To make the most of employees' working hours, Shopify recently deleted 322,000 hours worth of meetings across the company and now displays a meeting's estimated financial cost on the calendar when it's being scheduled to emphasize the value of the time potentially spent in it. How about that? Before we go, quickly, I gotta share. Last Wednesday, while we were gearing up for a daily Tour de Couch, the world's most elite cyclists were grinding up 17,000 feet of elevation with teams of mechanics and doctors at the ready, hanging out the sides of speeding cars. The Tour de France is wild, and it's a historic and global phenomenon. Each year, fans from more than 180 countries tune in to watch the race, but despite its popularity, most people are probably unfamiliar with its economics. How does the Tour de France, an event that is free to the public, make money? How does the sponsorship model of a professional cycling team work? And how does this all affect how the riders choose to compete? Watch our quick video about it all on YouTube or linked in today's newsletter. All right, bada bing, bada boom. That's going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning in to the Hustle Daily Show. We're a proud part of the HubSpot Podcast Network. Our editor today is Ezra Trupiano. Our executive producer is Darren Clarke. We've got a lot more tech and business coverage in our newsletter, which you should sign up for at thehustle.co/email if you are not already. Hope you have an awesome Monday. Great start to the week. We'll catch you right here tomorrow.
Let me tell you about a show that I've been loving lately. It's called Entrepreneurs on Fire. It's hosted by the incredible John Lee Dumas. It's available now on the HubSpot Podcast Network. Entrepreneurs on Fire stokes inspiration and shares strategies to fire up your entrepreneurial journey and create the life that you've always dreamed of. I'm a big fan of this podcast. It has energy, it has value, and it's all about learning about entrepreneurship. I was just listening to an episode the other day. JLD interviewed Jay Rogers, who was such a wealth of information. He kind of went into how entrepreneurship chooses you. You don't necessarily choose it, and that failure only happens when you stop trying to win. A lot of gems in this one. So I highly recommend checking out that particular episode along with the rest. So go listen to Entrepreneurs on Fire wherever you get your podcasts. Hey guys, if you listen to the Hustle Daily Show on Google Podcasts, we want to let you know that the option will no longer be available pretty soon. Google is sunsetting its podcast app sometime in early 2024 in favor of YouTube Music, and we want to give you a heads up before it's too late since that time's almost here. The Hustle Daily Show is available everywhere and anywhere that you listen to podcasts like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you're using YouTube Music, we are there as well. If you're an Android fan, there are plenty of apps like Overcast, Pocket Casts, Player FM, and more. So just search for us wherever you decide to listen to your favorite podcasts.